I don't see anything yet.
Yeah, it's just any second now.
Yeah, there it
Usually.
is. One's up.
Okay.
There's 15 in it already.
Yeah, 20, 20 now. All right.
And
Yeah,
the
joining.
score mounts.
Well, it's nice to get in quick actually, because then we can start earlier. We're always starting late. Ooh, another Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, 18
Ar-
knots out of the west.
Around Mammoth, around Mono Lake, and over to Mount McKinley, and then back upwind to Mammoth Yosemite Airport. I know all of these. I know Lee Vining and I know Byron Field. All right, so this will be interesting. So I'm going to look at the
It's an
hangar.
open class.
So definitely EV29.
EB29 it is.
And I'll leave it neutral. And the handsome blue today. All right, so wing loading is 57 kilograms. Save.
All scrud.
Make sure that my connection is open here. There we go. All right.
Save.
Okay. 57. 136 kilograms. Join flight. I believe it's one. Well, I don't believe it. It's 1 liter per kilogram. So 136 kilograms, 136 liters of water to get to the wing loading, according to that. That was weird. The task said Lake Tahoe, but they're loading up a task that says Las Trancas. Oh, it looks like it's Lake Tahoe. All right. Look at those big honking wings. All right. Let's get tuned up here. Plane EB29. System setup units European. Select close. Close. Config flight 136. 135. Select. Perfect. The metric system. It's just amazing. And config devices. Edit. Desktop select. Okay. Close.
What's going on here? And 57.
Boy, the graphics of the motor are just beautiful. You ever zoom in on the engine bay?
No.
You should zoom in on it and take a look. It is really cool. All right.
I'm amazed at the level of detail that these guys put in. I'm surprised they don't show rivets.
Well, this is nothing compared to other simulators. This is actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
But yes, it's very it's more than adequate. It's really great. I had audio problems the last couple days, but I fixed them. It appears. All right, I'm back. Can you hear me, John?
Yep.
Okay.
Coming in.
All right. You're way at the back of the line, buddy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was slow this morning. Had a couple of hiccups. Hope I got it right.
The wings on the EB29 are very Schleicher-esque.
Yeah, very thin and long.
Well, the way the flap system works, where it
Oh yeah.
decouples.
Yeah,
And,
everything rolls.
yeah. Well, you get at maximum flap, you get a big deep flap on the inboard section, and I wonder if it crows at all.
Bit what?
Crows, meaning so crow is just like the reason we take off in -1 flaps is you have better aileron control with a
Right.
negative flap. With a negative aileron. So the airfoil trailing edge tucked up. But with a Schleicher and with a lot of RC gliders, you put the inboard flaps down in the landing mode, but you crow the outer part so you have better aileron control. And
Crow. I don't know that term.
crow, it's how a crow lands. The inboard part of its wings are down, but the outboard tips are up. Sort of like how a Cirrus has a different airfoil on the outer wing panel.
Really?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I never heard that. I know what you're talking about, but I never heard that term used. Interesting.
it's an RC term. But if you look at the wing in the max down, so when you're in landing flaps, in thermal flap, so that would be +2, your flaps on the inboard section stay down, they don't move, but the ailerons do. When you go to landing flaps, they go down like a 60-degree position, same thing. When you go to, actually the inboard panel is just a general setting, and then the ailerons are independent of the inboard panel. So that makes sense. And
Yeah, the inboard panel is just flaps.
well, you get flaps to +2, but then they do crow at the landing flap. So if you look at them in +2, the whole trailing edge is dipped down, and when you go to the landing flap, the inboard section goes down, way down, and the outboard section goes back up to neutral. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so
I
that
see that now.
so that is crow, and that's so at slow speed you don't stall the outboard section.
Aha.
All right. Ooh, shit. I'll be right back in 10. We'll be right back in 10 seconds.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. I'm next in line to join the group. I'm only way back
I'm number 2.
instead of way back.
Let's see here. What's the starting altitude? 2,500.
Looks like everybody's going out to the west. I guess that's west. Which way am I pointed?
That's interesting. They're on the other side of that ridge, maybe. The wind is right on the nose. It's actually coming from that ridge, so they're going over to the other side of the ridge. TKM is coming back, going for that cloud. So this looks like it's going to be he's pretty low right there, TKM.
Kim is at 2,000 meters.
Yeah, so he's only 600 meters above the ground.
Those guys look like they're on this side of the mountain, though. Go to F8.
Yeah.
See them. There's a cloud over there, and that's where the tow pilots take you, but that's a dumb place to go. Hopefully they'll figure that out before we get launched. You're already launched.
I am. Just a matter of a few seconds and you're 20 places farther up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was probably 15 seconds later than you getting in. Yeah, he's headed to a cloud off to the east.
Yeah.
He's headed 042. Yeah, 1440 is field elevation.
There's another cloud to the south of the field.
I like to go into the start area rather than have to come back to it.
Yeah, they're downwind. Well, they're crosswind over there.
Yeah. So let's see. The wind's out of the west. There's a slot to go through going by that lake.
Mm-hmm.
And go into turn point 1. Do we want to try and get that little short ridge just to the west of the lake?
Hold on, let me.
Get some altitude, or just bank on being able to get through there?
You mean that little tiny lake before the first turn?
Right, Lake Topaz Lake.
Yeah, well, it looks to me like the best thing to do would be to deviate considerably on that first leg to get up in the last part of that ridge to the east, and then go.
To the east.
Yeah, and then go down to the second turn point ridge from an altitude where you can connect. I suppose if there's a cloud right on the way and it's 5 meter a second lift, it would be fine to go on course. But assuming the clouds are pretty sparse, I would think we would go a little bit left of course to use some of that ridge, and then try and be in position to climb at the first turn points elevation, and then it's just ride the ridge most of the way. Agreed? See what I'm saying?
That looks right. Yep, that looks about
I don't
right.
I don't think there's any reason to go right of course, because you
That doesn't look like a play. Yeah, looks like if we could come off of that white part on that first ridge just before you get to the lake, that would put us at 27, almost 2,800 meters.
yeah.
And the turn point itself is gonna need 3,400 meters nominally.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to find might pay us to aim to the left of course and get on that ridge sooner.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then work your way
This,
up the ridge.
if you start out of the left side of the gate and just go downwind to that ridge, it probably would be the fastest route.
Yeah,
Because 2,500 meters is not all that high. That's only 1,000 meters above the ground, roughly.
right. Roughly 3,000 feet. Yeah. 3,300 to be more precise.
Yeah.
All right. Totally different subject, but what do you know about bitcoins,
Know a lot about bitcoins.
cryptocurrencies, etc.?
Yeah. Well,
How
it's
is that? How is that even legal?
well. I mean, how is it legal to trade baseball cards for a value? Um, there's a
You know,
lot there's a lot of of things that people trade for value. Just like U.S. dollar paper notes are.
you know, but those are declared legal tender. Bitcoins, as I understand it, there's unlike gold, there's no entity other
Declared
than
declared legal tender by who, and for what? What is the value of, for example, the U.S. government declaring that the dollar is legal tender, and they print however much money they want whenever they want to print it and devalue it constantly,
oh they do,
and it's not
but
it's not backed with anything other than a promise that the United States government will honor it.
that's
But
true.
but even that,
Backed by the full faith and trust of the government, which is getting in short supply these days.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the parallel, but gold, for instance, has intrinsic value. It has had so for thousands of years, millennia. Bitcoins, there's no intrinsic value attached. It's,
yes,
there's not even like unlike trading cards, there's no physical entity
well,
put
no,
down for it.
no. So you're missing the key value. Again,
Right.
each individual can choose to value gold or paper notes or an automobile as that there's value is value, and value is what you determine the value to be. So my house is worth X,
Yeah.
Y. Well, there's a value to it. The reason so if you have $10 million in the bank or invested, Let's just use that number for example. And why would you consider gold? Well, I don't believe that the U.S. dollar is going to hold its value, right? So you buy gold to hedge against that. Well, if you have $10 million and Bitcoin is now a form of value which is decoupled from the nation state monetary system. It is a asset which people have invested in, and which it cannot be tampered with or devalued by nation states, banks, etc. It's independent of their influence, and this is why it's so valuable, because people are tired of having their money devalued, in the way that so much of our money is. I mean, the United States dollar today is worth 4 cents, equivalent to the 1915 value. 4 cents. Why is that? Because they've printed so much money. So I have a big problem here finding a client.
Gold standard.
Well, yeah, they took us off the gold standard, and now everything is a promise, so that they could, derivative and, force multiply money to a ridiculous event and charge interest on it. So now we have 0% interest, which is inflating the hell out of the stock market, and they've printed 20% of all U.S. dollars that have been printed within the last year. Some say 40%. So as soon as inflation begins, you'll start to be looking for other places to put your money, because the U.S. dollar could be worth very little very, very quickly. So Bitcoin is a monetary system. There are many other cryptocurrencies, but this is the biggest, which is it's growing. It has an almost fail-safe security system, and hold on one second here. It is a way to take a chunk of assets and separate it from the traditional economic system, which most people say is entirely corrupt. Not most people, many people say is entirely corrupt. And generally people who have more and more wealth, it's the people who are worth between $1 million and, let's say, $20 million who are going to get completely screwed when inflation comes, and when taxes are raised, and when green energy policy is jammed in, and all of this and all of this federal spending comes to pass. There's this sort of lifeboat where you could diversify yourself outside of the markets, which are traditionally based on the dollar, on the Fed, on U.S. government policy, and really you have no protection. We all say we don't want to raise taxes. We don't want, we want, a capitalistic system where we have the freedom to live our lives, and we have, the capability to save money for our families and pass it on and all that, and the confidence that people have in that is severely degraded. And that's why Bitcoin has gone from $5,000 to $50,000+ in the last several years. So it's a secure currency that can't be tampered with. It can't be diluted by the government. And I wouldn't say that it would make sense to put all of your wealth and into Bitcoin because it's a bit volatile. But I would also say that in 15 years, the world will shift to some sort of cryptocurrency. But the problem with cryptocurrency is if it's based on government financial policy and fiscal policy, the ability for the government to deflate it. I mean, there's never been a currency in world history that has maintained or increased its value. It's always diluted, and that's a non, gold standard or a non restricted financial currency. It's so easy for governments to just print money or buy money, and right now it's the U.S. dollar is it's worthless in my opinion. It's sad to say, but I mean, prove me wrong.
Well, let me ask this then. Suppose what you're defending against happens, that the dollar becomes worthless and its inflation goes crazy. And what do you trade Bitcoins for?
Well, what do you trade any value for? Value is value. So if you think of a diversification of wealth, most people have a 401k based in the stock market. Well, the stock market right now is going gangbusters because interest is 0%. There's nowhere else to put your money.
Yep.
As soon as inflation comes, and as soon as PE values are, factored in. I mean, Tesla's got a 1,250 PE value. I mean, give me a break. Microsoft has a 34. So 34 is a stretch. So there's a lot of overvaluation there. People are throwing their money in. The government's printing money like a drunken sailor, and no end in sight. And so people with wealth, people who have a technical vision of the future, people who are anti, government policy, people who just want another option, because there's very, very few options to get your money these days, are saying, I'm going to take a segment of my wealth and put it in Bitcoin because Bitcoin can't be diluted by the government. And, what is the value of that is up to, the value of Bitcoin is up in I think it's $500 billion now, and it's huge. And what are you going to do with Bitcoin? Well, when the dollar is worth 1/100th of what it is now, and we begin doing a Greece or a Venezuela, and you want to buy a glider, Shemperth is not going to want $1 anymore, and it's going to cost you too much to get euros and dollars. You may be able to purchase that asset with Bitcoin because it may become a preferred asset. So, I could trade Bitcoin right now. I could trade my Bitcoins for 50 grand a Bitcoin. There's fractions of Bitcoins now. They've begun to divide it up because the value, or split it because the value is getting so high. But, Bitcoins carry real monetary value today, huge monetary value.
It's valued in dollars, right?
Yeah, well, it's valued in yen. It's valued in euros. The people all over. Yeah. Yeah. So, Bitcoin is very real. It's more real than the U.S. dollar, John. The U.S. dollar is a joke. It's a printing press.
That's been true for years.
Well, yeah, but eventually,
It's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. Yeah.
Eventually the party, the booze runs out and the hangovers start, and eventually physics come into play. I could get more technical with it, but it's send me an email. I'll send you There's a number. I follow Bitcoin closely, and there's some really good authors, people who go into great detail explaining the
Yeah.
building blocks of Bitcoin. I mean, the complex part is mining Bitcoin and all the sort of foundational elements, but that's all been done. I mean, that's been going on since 2008. You're not mining Bitcoin necessarily today. You're trading it. And yeah, the value.
When you say mining bitcoins, what do you mean?
Well, so Bitcoin is a currency that didn't exist, right?
Right.
And the mechanism for the mathematical technical side of finding a Bitcoin is a matter of finding a basically a computer algorithm, completing a computer algorithm by plugging in a piece of code, and now you have a Bitcoin. And so initially that value was created out of thin air, but the idea of Bitcoin is once your Bitcoin has a record, all Bitcoins are part of a blockchain of transactional records. And all the servers that have a record of this throughout all the world update every time anyone trades a Bitcoin. So if you buy a Bitcoin from me for 50 grand, that transaction will be reflected in the ledger of all Bitcoins around the world, which are housed electronically in essentially a database. And it's a very simple database, and it's a very unbreakable database. The reason is you can try and cheat one sample of Bitcoin, but the transaction will not go through because it won't correlate with the rest of the world's ledgers and everyone else's Bitcoin. And so there's really no way to cheat it. You could cheat it.
Is there a finite number of bitcoins?
Yes, there's a finite number of Bitcoins, and
So they've manufactured all of them that they've mined all they're gonna do.
essentially they've mined all that they can do. Now it can be expanded, or there can be other currencies. And really what that is the set number of Bitcoins will keep getting split and split and split so that people can afford to deal with smaller, chunks of Bitcoin, essentially. Just like Amazon is, when Microsoft or Amazon or Apple gets too expensive, they split the stock, right? So the value doesn't change, but the value of the individual or the number of shares doubles. So if you have 10 shares, now you have 20. So that
Worth half as much, yeah.
yeah, so that happens with Bitcoin, but essentially the value is fixed, and I'll send you some really good videos on that. But yeah, Bitcoin is a very cool thing. Are you in the air?
I am, yes.
All right.
I'm up 2,700.
Oh, good.
Where am I?
TKM has started. He's off.
Yep. I am just a little bit behind and off to the east.
Okay. I'm 13K to the east of the start line right now.
Yeah, I'm 12 and a half.
Oh, so you're right around me. I'll look down.
I think I'm what am I? I think I'm north of you.
I'm sweeping my radar at 2,700. I don't see you, but I'm sure you're close by.
I'm headed for HMB if you see him.
Okay. I'll see if I see him. HMB.
Maybe GUF. I can see GBO if you see him or Jazz.
Yeah, I see Jazz and GBO there towards the airport from me.
Yeah, I'm
Are you ready to start? Do you have enough altitude to start, or do you need to climb more?
If I can get there, I'm at 2650.
You need more.
Yeah. I'm gonna
You-
go. I'm gonna go upwind or downwind.
Okay.
I got a cloud here. Maybe I can climb here.
Okay, I'm with MPT, JN9, F1, XIM, and HTJ. I'm up at the top of a climb. You probably can't see us because we're all basically together. Do you see Turkey, TUR?
No.
Okay. Well, this cloud is fading, so I'm just going to drift out towards the starting line. And if I have to start a little bit in front of you or something, I don't think we have a lot of luxury here today. I think, we have to get going whenever we can. Because there's no other clouds between me and the airport. All right, so I'm looking for you. I see JLD and RH2.
Okay, I'm toward the airport from them.
Yeah, all right. Do you see T4?
Yep, I'm upwind to him, or downwind, I guess it is.
Okay, so I'm coming behind T4. I'm coming west towards T4. Back towards the airport.
I see HTJ just barely.
Yep, and I'm right behind him, 0.8 tenths.
Yep. You're coming in.
Okay, I gotcha.
What's your altitude?
3,000. So I'll just come to you. What's your altitude?
28. I'm climbing slowly. I'm at 28.
All right. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into float mode here, and I'll kind of aim halfway between you two. I just want to make sure I have enough energy for a max energy start.
Yeah. I'm climbing at about 2.5.
All right.
You're 6 kilometers away. You get a little closer, I'll hit. Well, let's see. I'm 11 from the center.
Yeah, I'm 10 from the center. I'm at 30.75.
Give me one more turn here, and then I'll head off.
Okay.
HMB is under a cloud this side of the airport.
Yeah, I see him, and I'm headed towards him. It's a really nice looking cloud.
Yeah, I'm headed there. I'm 5.7 away from him.
I'm 5.0. I've got plenty of altitude to start.
Yeah, I think so. 'Cause I'm gonna be up on the eastern edge here in a little bit.
Well, pretty much everybody has started. Well, not everybody, but slightly more than half.
Yeah, T4 is still waiting. I'm not sure what for, but
You could be T50 to your right and low.
oh yeah, he's hurting.
Yeah. His goose is cooked. All right, so looking up the leg, most people kind of look like they're kind of going straight down the run line. They're not doing that deviation. 50 kph wind speed up here. So the ridges are just going to be explosive. These thermals are really weak, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a bummer.
Oh,
Okay, I can turn and go anytime.
you let me know when you want to go. Yeah, I'm ready anytime. I just want to sample this climb. Now this one's strong. This one's 4.5 meters a second. It's narrow though, but boy, you do not want to get stuck at a weak climb here.
Well, I got 400 over, so.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. I'm just.
Yeah, let's go. I don't see any point in waiting.
Okay, so we're going to start on this end of the line and hedge left to the high terrain.
Okay. 25, right?
25. Just give me kind of an ETA as to when you expect to start, and I'll try and meet you there.
I'm right on the line now.
Are you at 2,500?
2550.
Oh, well, go then. You're fine. Here I come.
Started.
Yep.
Taking an aggressive move to the east here.
Oh, yeah, I see you. I'll come with you here.
Somebody's doing it too. I see the flashes up here. Of course, he may be struggling.
Yeah, it seems to me that that's a pretty big deviation. You might want to consider a cloud or consider...
Well, I'm looking at a cloud.
Yeah.
I see somebody further out that's low on that mountain, on that ridge.
I see him too.
Climb here.
Okay. I'm just going to slow down a little bit and use these big wings.
LL's over here.
Gotcha. I mean, it is windy. You getting good air there?
It's weak.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, you're higher. All right, I got rock and M2K here in these next clouds before the high terrain.
JAB's up high on this cliff.
Okay, well, that's a good move. And it's this cloud.
Trees up here.
Yep. Jesus, we need 2,300 meters for that first turn.
Ridge works.
Yep. All right, I'm almost to this first cloud. I'm with T4 and rock. Doesn't look strong. A lot of lag here.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make up this time or not. We'll find out, I guess.
Oh no.
Everybody's disconnected. I wonder if they're going to start up again.
Well, we can keep an eye on that. That sucks. I hate it when they do that. I mean, they can't have 60 people on a server.
By the way, this ridge is nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting 5-6 knots up. Back up to 2,700 feet.
I'm 2,700 too here. And my distance is 56 away. Where are you?
I'm 66 away.
Yeah. Well, you'll be about the same here because I'm climbing at sort of struggling here. I think my cloud just died. Let me take a peek here. There we go. Well, I guess everybody would just fly their own task, and then we'll see what the scores are. Is that?
Unless they start up a server. Restart the server, you think?
Well, once I get out of this climb, I'll put it on autopilot, and I'll look to see if they've started TChin 1 again. It's kind of a big deal for them to drop everybody on TChin 1.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm leaving now for the ridge. So I'm 55 out at 3,000.
All right, you're better than I am.
Well, you're in that gap. I'm right at the fresh part of the new ridge.
Yeah, see, I've got to transition back. If we do start this again,
Yeah, you're not going to make that mistake again.
I'm not going to do this again.
That was a big deviation. You got to consider the geometry of it. An EB-29 70 to 1 with a tailwind. You have way more authority. Oh yeah, this ridge is huge. All right, so I'm 53 out now, 3120 in 5 meters a second of ridge lift.
Yeah. I mean, I'll make it, but it's going to be, I'm behind you.
What's your distance?
59, 50, by 60.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty big delta. So this next gap is pretty big. All right, I'm bailing out of here. This is too much deviation. All right, so I'll do autopilot now. Whoops, pause, shit. Alt tab. I do not see a new TChin one.
Is there a TChin 3?
No, there's nothing.
Okay, so we just continue.
Yeah. Just huge rising terrain up into this mountain, but there's not really a distinct ridge. So I'm 39 out.
I'm 50.
Okay.
You left the ridge now, or what?
Yeah, I just went sort of climbed on that ridge a little bit by deviating to the right, and then I've just turned downwind heading to the next ridge. And this cloud didn't work, so I'm bailing out. So I gained up to about 3,200 meters, and then rather than going to the right, way off course, all the way around, and then still having to deviate back to the left, I just said enough, went to red line, and transition to that next small ridge before the two bigger mountains on the, slightly left of course. Kind of like we planned.
Yeah.
But I don't think that these ridges are going to give me that much, so I'm just kind of feeling for some good air here. I think that second mountain peak is where the climb will be. The cloud for me that was at the beginning of this low ridge didn't do much. Yeah, so I think this is Mount Patterson that we're going for down here. Yeah.
You passed the lake, right?
Lake is on my right wingtip right now, 90 degrees off.
Okay.
And there's just a little bit of lift on this low ridge. So this is actually really working well. But this first turn is going to be tough. So my plan is to do the low ridge, go to the end of it, fall back onto the high ridge or the second ridge, then try and climb as much as I can there to get to the southern edge of Mount Patterson there, and I'm going to try and climb without stopping. So you'll see as you get close to the first mountain past the low ridge that it's almost conceivable to get high enough off of the small mountain before the big mountain where the turn point is, and to connect right onto the southern flank of that mountain, which has a really strong ridge, and then just ride up that spine. There are clouds to work if I have to, but it doesn't look that great. Yeah, this is falling apart, so I am going to just jump for that ridge at warp speed.
You go into that second ridge that's kind of
Yeah,
well defined.
exactly. I'm almost there now. I'll be arriving just below the base. Or just below the peak.
Okay. I'm now 32 out.
24. 2600. I'll probably have to climb a little here now on this ridge. Hopefully it works well. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's monstrous. Yeah, this ridge is huge. I think this will work. So you want to turn your jets on and go for that secondary ridge. I've gained 400 meters on it so far.
Okay.
And this should be enough to get me.
Yeah, I'm at 24 now.
I'm at 31. Yeah. I went from 24 to 31 in the matter of
Oh,
slow.
you're at altitude. What's your distance?
Oh, 18.
Okay.
All right. Get the jets on here. All right. I know that this next ridge is going to work really well, so I'm going to get to red line here. Well, I'm going to need to gain 1,100 meters in 1,200 meters in 12K. And this ridge looks like it'll do it based on what I saw in the last one. Ooh, this would be scary in real life. Well, this next ridge works well too.
I'm at 16 now. You got to be what, 10?
10.
Yeah.
You're on that first big mountain short ridge? Or are you past that?
Yeah, I'm past it. I'm coming up on the second.
It
Going to the turn point.
it works as well as you think. As well as anyone could hope.
At 50 kph. You can
Yeah.
take a speed bump for that much wind.
Yep. 60 up here at 32.
Coming over that bare part just before the Green Mountain.
Yep. It's like reeling in a fish. All right. Should have this.
turn point?
Just about to get there. Pretty easy to make.
Five and a half out.
1.5. At 35.43.
34.
All right, at the
I
turn.
heard it.
Yep. I didn't go right to the apex. I'm cutting to the right just a little bit to get on top of the next ridge that leads out from here, which I think is a good move. We'll see. It's not very far off course. All right, 2,700 for the next turn, and then 2,500 for the finish. Not really sure where we're going next. All right. All right, I see Mono Lake. It's dry. All right, so I've got 100K to go to the next one. I'm at 33.27. And I'm going slightly right of course. Running out, hitting a couple clouds. And my goal here is to get to that. There you are. My goal here is to get to that little mountain that's just about on course. Down a little bit past Mono Lake, or just before Mono Lake, excuse me. I probably should be deviating more. Boy, this scenery is realistic. This is a great task. That we had one of these tasks that year when we were in Minden.
Did you?
Yeah, we went down to Mount Patterson, or not, whatever, Mount McKinley, or whatever this second turn point is. Boundary Peak. Oh. Probably going to need to take some clouds to do this.
Yeah.
This is definitely
600 feet. I'm at 3,300 and I'm 600 feet below the top, below the turn point.
really.
Not counting. Yeah.
Says I'm 3,000 meters. Well, you're saying 600 meters below the finish, maybe? I'm 3,000 meters below at 2.5 MC and physically 1,100 meters below right now.
Check, no, not glide slope, the entity itself.
Yes.
Check your DH.
Yeah, DH, I'm 1,100 below. I'm 88 out right now.
All right, I'm 95.
I went all in
Angle,
on
isn't it?
pretty close to red line.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I'm just gonna work this little ridge here. I'll be low on it. You've probably essentially caught me. Um, I mean, I'm at 84 out right now. I'm at 2,800 with, very sort of minimal ridge to work up ahead of me, but and no real cloud prospects. So
Yeah, I'm down to 2,900, and I'm still 90 out.
okay, so I'm still slightly ahead of you, but I'm
Oh
at
yeah.
I'm at 2,900 as well. But my goal here is just to get onto this mountain, float, use these big wings, and after this, going over to the Mono Lake area, um, I'm at 500 meters AGL right now over Mono Lake. I can see Mono Lake ahead. I'll be about 800 meters above, and just gonna. I'm slowing down a little bit right now to stay on what I think is a good part of this mountain, but I have the legs here to reach a cloud or two out here to the next turn point. It's nice to know there's a motor in the back of this glider.
Yeah.
With all this wind, this mountain is working really well. Still 45 here. I could see Mono Lake. I worked up to 3,000 here, 74 out. The big challenge is going to be picking the right cloud to go to, because I think we're going to have one choice with speed, and after that it's going to be desperation. I'm just going to go where the density is, which is left, of course. And there's also some terrain over there that I could bail out onto. So I'm almost dead downwind here. All right, so I'm at the leading edge of Mono Lake, just about to go out into the lake bed.
feet 72 out.
67, 2900.
Got clouds lined up in front of me.
Just slightly left of course.
Yep.
Yep.
No, actually, no, I think I'm right at the course line.
Okay. Yeah, I could have gone right, but I've always been taught that when you're low on altitude, you don't want to go upwind. So I guess I'm self-taught. Unless it's obvious. But I'm only 10 degrees left of course. There's 3 or 4 clouds over here on the left, and there's terrain over here on the left that I could go ridge soar if I needed to. So that was my thought process. You may not be seeing the same clouds though. I don't know if the model is set when we start the task. I think it is. Boy, that cloud on the left looks the best. Jesus. I may go for that. In fact, I'm going to. So I'm making a little bit bigger deviation. There's a little mound on the left side of Mono Lake's dry lake bed. And there's a really sharp bottomed Q there. And it's right over the terrain right now, so that's where I'm headed. And I'm passing up the big fat cloud to the right of it because I think this one looks better. Might be a mistake, but we'll see. I need 2,500 meters to get to the turn point, supposedly. And this next turn point is very high.
Yeah, we're up 1,100 meters below the turn point.
Yeah.
So climbing is not a question.
Right. This might be a mistake. It is. So I'm bailing on that.
The good news is that the wind is coming from the right, so we're going to have to. The ridge part of that turn point is parallel to the wind.
Yeah.
You can pretty well have to have it done before you get there.
Yeah.
Have to go past it.
Have to climb on the leading edge of that mountain, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm playing musical clouds here. Okay.
I'm coming up on 58 and a half.
Mm-hmm. I'm at 55 and 26. I ended up deviating to that hill, saw that the cloud was behind the peak. So I turned, hit the fat cloud, only hit 2.5 meters a second. Now I'm headed out to the third. There is a fourth, and I am 560 meters above the ground. I'm at 2652 MSL. Still can't even see the turn point in the distance. Come on. So I missed on the third cloud. And now I'm starting to get worried. All right, so I'm 51 at 2,600, and I'm going to the far side of the dry lake bed on Mono Lake here, west of or east of Mono Lake. Oh, that's a screenshot. Look at one of the most beautiful places in the world. Well, I'm staying on course and staying pretty fast. I'm slowed down a little bit, but I'm getting to the point where I'm in panic mode. Oh, I can see the turn point now in the shade in the distance on the horizon. The leading edge of that mountain range will have good climb. So I think you could arrive low and climb really fast on that mountain. Did you find a climb back there?
No, not yet.
I don't feel so bad then.
Fit 2 clouds.
All right. I'm at 44 out, just maybe 3-4K away from this next cloud. If this doesn't work, I can go to the next dry lake bed, and there's a very low ridge, but there's no clouds on it. I'm 300 meters above the ground now, 1,000 feet.
Yeah, I'm 500 meters, but I'm behind you.
All right, I'm going to start slowing down here so I don't fly through any lift.
Well, that cloud is too far away.
Ooh, I hit the lift way in front of the cloud.
Yeah, with all the wind we got, that's probably about right. I probably didn't play that last cloud right.
There's a new cloud that formed just behind me. Do you see that? Between me and you, or maybe right over your head?
I don't see one, not a new one anyway. I'm coming up on leaving the dry drake bed, coming up on the trees.
Yeah, I'm about
45.
I'm about 3 or 4K into the trees, under the cloud, and I see a new cloud right over the border of the lake bed and the trees that I wish I didn't miss. So I'm climbing at 2.7 meters a second, slowly increasing. Only 1,900 meters to go. 600 seconds. Oh, 520 seconds. All right, so I'm at 40K.
I'm at 41.
At this cloud?
I'm between clouds.
Okay. You find something?
Not yet. I'm climbing a little bit on this ridge, but not much.
We might have taken a slightly different route. I think there's shear. I just got a massive change in the position of the core here. Ugh. Gonna do a massive no-no here. Reversing my turn. Actually, it wasn't much worse. All right, 3,300, 38K, headed out.
Oh, wow.
And I can see Patterson pretty well. So I'm 700 meters below. The question is, can I get to the base of it and climb? Let's see. Yes, it says I'm going to hit the ground right at the base of it. So if I turn my MC down to that and zoom in, yeah, it says I'm going to hit the base really low. This is just an awesome task. What is this mountain range called here? I forget what it's called.
I don't know.
This is one of the high. This may be the highest mountain in California.
Well, the highest mountain is Mount Whitney.
Yeah, so this must be Mount Whitney. I think Mount Whitney is the second mountain, and we're going to the first mountain. Mount Debout, 4,000 meters. Is the next one past it? Ooh. So I think I'm going to climb my 1,000 meters on top of the mountain, or next to the mountain, basically. Some wave out here. I doubt anybody's watching, but if you're watching, let me see if there's anybody here. We have 3 people watching. If you're watching, the server crashed, so everybody flies their task individually. John Mattel and I are talking on Discord, and at the end we'll all post our flights to see how we did without the fun of seeing everybody. In a way, this is kind of a nice way of doing it because you don't get to benefit from all the people around you. And this is Mount Debout and Boundary Peak. Yeah, so Boundary Peak is 3,900 and Mount Debout behind it is 4,000 meters, a little above 4,000 meters. And then the next one is White Mountain Peak, and that is 4,300 meters. So I don't know. These are some big ass mountains, but I don't know if Mount Whitney is here. I think it is. How you doing, John?
Not.
You're not?
I can't find a climb.
Oh boy. Isn't it amazing how the sport, one climb at the right time, can make 500 points of difference? Bishop is down here. Tiff and I went to Bishop one year. I read the book, Taming the Monster, or whatever it is, and we on a vacation went out here and for a week or so, and we went to Bishop, where they did all the mountain wave stuff in the 50s. Pretty cool.
When I was the summer of my sophomore year in high school, I went to California to visit my grandmother and aunt and uncle and my cousins. And my cousins and I went backpacking up in the Sierras. We went in at Bishop.
Yeah.
And we spent a couple of days up there, and then we decided to climb up Whitney. So we went up to the top of Whitney, which is kind of neat for a guy that's born in Louisiana, you know.
Oh yeah.
And
So wait, Whitney is on the Sierra side,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
it's in the Sierras.
Okay.
And so we got up to the top, and you can see like 7 states from there.
Unbelievable.
And I was feeling pretty good, man. Climbed the tallest mountain in the continental U.S., right?
Yeah, it's like 14,500 feet or something.
Yeah, it's way up there. And so I was kind of, feeling proud and all that. About 20 minutes after we got there, I saw these 2 guys pop their head over the east ridge. They had spent the night 200 feet below the crest in a hammock on the face of the thing. We climbed up the backside,
Right. They climbed the steep face and put one of those hammocks in the wall. Yep.
And then the third person was a girl. So I kind of deflated my ego.
You never.
That's when my cousin said, "Yeah, we came up with the little old ladies in wheelchairs come up."
Never underestimate the power of fitness. All right, so our turn point is up the second peak. So yeah, I played this just about perfect, John. I'm arriving 2,000, 3,000 feet above the ground, about 1/3 of the way up the peak. And hopefully I can get some good climb here. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't.
Either too low or it's just too much wind or something. So I'm trying this, what is going to have to pass for a ridge.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about, because that's what I was looking at if I didn't get my climb. Really the only option.
So I'm headed, what direction am I headed? I'm headed south.
Copy. Oh, come on. Yeah, there's 3 to 4 meters a second on this lower hill once you get here. It's a pretty quick ride up to the turn point. If I don't kill myself turning into the mountain. It's to the top of the first peak. 500 meters to go. Last turn, and I'll go back to the other peak. Oh shit. I've got a cloud in my way here. Big time. I almost can't even get upwind of this ridge.
I was down at 2,400 feet before MSL, 2,400 meters before I finally climbed.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm in a weird spot here.
I just got to keep up with the cloud.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna make it. Seven meters a second at the top.
Wow.
Just ridiculous. There we go.
Good news is I'm getting blown toward the target, so.
Yeah. All right, I got the turn point, but just at the peak. What? Am I going the wrong way here?
Could be a right turn out of there.
Oh shit. I got confused. Mammoth. Oh god, the finish is at freaking Mammoth. I was turning to go the other way. Oh my god. Well, I just lost a couple miles. Idiot. Oh my God. I'll get a few meters back here. Almost broke my wings off. Well, if I had any chance of winning this task, I think it's just gone out the toilet. But still enjoying it. So I'm 200 meters over, but I've got to go to leeward of a massive peak. Some wave here. How you doing, John?
3,100.
Good job. What's your distance to McKinley?
27.
Okay. So this last leg, there's a wave, meter and a half a second, and almost 2 at peak, headed at the very beginning of the last leg.
Okay.
Oh. I'm redlining myself here. God, this is makes me want to go to Minden again. It's just, well, there is a 15 meters in Minden this year.
That's what I understand. If it weren't so dang far, I'd go. It's just too dang far for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I went to Nephi and Logan, and both of those, I went 2 different years, sat there, and that was a taxing trip.
Why was that? Just too much
It's 3 days from here.
to drive there? Yeah,
Yeah, just to drive there.
yeah, and they're brutal days. Yeah.
It's a hard trip altogether, and I don't have the stamina that I used to have.
I don't blame you. I mean, I certainly don't look forward to a trip, and now with a with Vaughn, that's pretty difficult time to spend. It's a shame though, because the flying is just obscenely gorgeous. I thought about trying to like trade somebody a glider, borrow their glider for the race, and then let them use Seven Tango for a race out east.
Oh, that's a thought.
Yeah, I don't know. Many West Coast people would want to trade their glider for flying out east, but maybe.
Well, somebody, people that want to come to Perry or something like that,
Yeah,
it might be a fair trade.
yeah.
It's got to be a race they want to do. Ugh. So you got a 29, is that what you have?
Yeah. That's what you should get, John. So you can do the 18-meter races.
Uh, too old, too
Too
fat, too slow.
too old and too fat?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? That's crazy talk. You're just getting into your peak. You're just peaking.
Yeah, I'm two years away from a 29. So,
Well,
I'm 70,
a 29
7 years old.
a 29 I think is easier to fly than a 27 probably. I mean, in 18 meter they're really delightful.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's putting it together.
Oh gosh, John, they're so easy. The wings are lighter. Um,
Really?
well, I think the inboard panel is the same as a 27, I would imagine, but it's got a little handle on it, that you use for traveling, and then it
Yeah.
just takes a few seconds to put the put the tips on. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It just allows you, maybe, if there was a reason to do it, it would just allow you just a little bit more time to, more options, I guess, of flying to do. But just going through the process of buying and selling a glider is a giant pain in the ass. So I would probably be empathetic to your concerns.
Yeah, I am 10K out at 31.
So you're coming to the mountain a little higher than I was, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to try and see if there's anything in this cloud that'll give me a little boost here.
The mountain itself is just bombastic, so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would just go to the
I'm not
mountain.
going to waste time. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time here. But it's en route, so I'll take it.
With this EB29, I've been 200 over, and I literally can't get rid of the excess altitude. Even going downwind of a big ridge, which had a ton of sink, I'm going to break my wings off here, trying to get it down and use up the last 200 meters of my altitude. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see an airport here. I'm 10K out of the finish. I don't know where we're going to land. I think this is just some obscure point.
Yeah, they've done that before.
Well, that's why I've got the motor. I'll go touring in the Sierras. Wouldn't be too turbulent in there. Mammoth Lake. It's like being on Mars. The only reason you know we're on Earth is there's some roads.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty desolate.
I love it. Oh, there is a little airport over here. Must be the airport that people who go skiing at Mammoth use. Oh, there's a little bit of terrain here too. That's what my computer is squawking at me about. Oh, but it's a cylinder. No worries. All right. Task average says 214 kph.
Wow, that's pretty decent.
Well, we'll see. Finish. Man, this really makes me want to come fly in California. It's just ridiculous. Oops. Congratulations. A lot of headwind here. All right. Right here by the solar farm. All right. Well, that was an awesome task. I'm going to save that. Let's see if I can save that. Oh, I'll go back and save it later. Save flight track. Well, what do you think the winning speed was? If I did 215, I bet you it was 240.
Yeah, I'd say 240, something on that order.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the greatest task. I'm sure there was much faster people. All right.
Of course, this headwind going in the last 40 miles doesn't help you a bit.
No, it doesn't.
I'm
Let's.
doing red line and I'm only doing 217.
Right. All right. Pilot ranking list. Upload flight track. God, I can't believe it wasn't rounding that turn point at that the one you just rounded. I mean,
Yeah.
we did that basically at the 18-meter nationals. That was, I think, that was the turn point, or it might have been one more mountain to the south. I'll never forget it. It was like being on another planet. It was just great. What an awesome place to fly. All right, here we go. Says I did 105.43. That doesn't. If my computer says I did 210, that's 62. That should be like 224, but I don't know why it never seems to match up. All right, so there's 20 results available, and I did 7 thermal turns, average of about 620 feet per minute. All right, let's check the other results. Ha! I was 5th.
All right.
I
I
beat
figured you'd be in the ballpark.
I beat Madsen.
Did you?
Yeah, he
Good
was
man.
he was 7th. A BDT, DGT, Eddie Fly High. I'm not sure who that is. Elliot McLeese, and then myself. So, as not to beat myself up too bad, I'm just going to do the people that I know, including Tim, and I'll do the replay. Mm. All right, I'm red. So the guy who won was actually right with us, and he went almost the same route. Interesting. So what he did is he took the first climb very, very high. That very first climb that we did just shortly after the start. So I actually had a really good task, and where he blew by me is where I got low. He actually
Yeah.
did. He took another climb just before that lake. Oh, okay. So the guy who won took a climb right out of Minden Tahoe and made it to Boundary Fix, that Boundary Peak, without stopping.
Mm.
So he only took one climb, and I'll tell you how many minutes it was. See, so he starts here at roughly 49. I wish it said climb rate, but yeah, he climbs there for basically 8 minutes, and he got up to 5,200 meters.
Wow.
And then he just sent it downwind. He rode, just basically went direct to the first turn at Mount Patterson, and then just stayed in good terrain. And yeah, he only spent, see, he comes down to the ridge here at 32. Yeah, I spent 5 minutes climbing, so he probably came about the same altitude I did, and then just booked straight in. And I actually finished like neck and neck with two other guys, or no, I guess it's just one other guy. This DGT, but I've seen this happen, John, to us many a time. Where you, I always think that, especially in something like an EB29, low with a little bit of ridge energy is everything, especially kind of in a downwind leg. But that guy climbed to 5,200. So he climbed to 18, 19, 20,000 feet. And then he just had to climb for 5 minutes on boundary fix, and that was it. So he had 8 minutes, 13 minutes of climbing, and then it was just direct. So that's pretty.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of that high wind.
Well,
That climb, it was all downwind.
high wind, and then obviously the true true airspeed. Yeah. So wow. So Tim Madsen, let me just look at him. Yeah, he was low and kind of he was low the first half of the task, and probably pretty slow, and then he climbed up and looked pretty average. Um, oh, that's such a bummer. I would have loved to have to have seen that from. Let me refresh it here and see if anybody else is coming. Yeah, I dropped to 6th now. Somebody came in like a fraction faster than me. WW from Austria. That was a lot of fun.
I'm 11K out now.
I'll wait for you to finish.
Oh, no, you don't need to do that. All over with the shower. Just trying to keep the wings on.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
280.
yeah. There's a little
Only got,
there's a little terrain there, but the finish line is before the terrain.
yeah, I can see it. I see the runway.
Oh, another interesting little tidbit here. The top 17 are EB29s.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Then a couple JS1s. Some guy wasn't last in a JS3, 18, and then a few other guys. But the deviation is 111, 110, 109, 106, two 105s, then a 104, two 103, 103s, then 100. So it's basically 111 to 103, and then 100, and then 99, 98, 96, 92, 90.
Yeah,
So
I'll be lucky to break 100.
yeah, I think you're going to be off the
Yeah,
pace.
I don't think I'm. Oh, yeah, way off.
Well, but that's fine. I mean, you got stuck, and but you finished. That's right.
Yeah.
You were. That was pretty amazing too, because I sort of felt like you were just flying more efficiently back there, and I had a terrible after that first turn point. I went left and hit three clouds, and missed every single one of them. And then
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I missed a herd of those clouds.
mm, when you get done upload your flight, and then I just want to look at it real quick.
Yeah, about 30 seconds out.
All right. It says 930 points. So I'm looking at the winner's flight. It's maximum height gain, 10,647 feet. Um, he only averaged 566 feet per minute, though. I mean, he just.
All right, let me get it uploaded.
Oh my God. I probably would have been, I would guess, 1 or 2 kph fast, maybe 3 kph faster if I didn't do that stupid thing. And let's say 1, that would have gotten me to 4th because I finished zero point 0.9 miles per hour slower than IRL. But then it's a pretty big jump up to this Austria guy. So, I mean, but there's a million things that I sort of did wrong. Let me know when it's uploaded.
It's uploaded. I'm 19th.
19th.
Yeah, it came in at 86.
That's only 15 minutes slower than me, and considering the hell you went through to do that, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to replay that, and I just want to see what you went through. All right,
That was ugly.
so you're yellow, I'm green. Yeah, so I was just a little bit ahead of you um, on that first leg, or on that sort of first ridge. And then, yep, you caught up, really caught up. Okay, and then after that turn point, or no, this well after the turn point where you actually passed me. Oh no,
Yeah,
almost.
I got past you a little bit, um, but only briefly.
That's where you got.
Uh,
That's where you got hurt there, where you had to transition to the ridge further to the east,
yeah,
and
I
then.
climbed up the mountain fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got there, that was golden. That
That was
trip
just
to the east and then back to the west just didn't go
yeah,
very well.
and
That
for
slowed me down a lot.
and for me after that, whatever that just sort of grumpy high terrain there to the east of Mono Lake, I had 4 beautiful solid looking clouds. I went for one, then changed my mind, then went for the thick one, only found 2 meters a second, went for the third one, didn't find anything, I think. And then I arrived at less than 1,000 feet at the cloud where I found a climb, but the cloud didn't look great to me. And that that was the difference between you and me because you were actually probably ahead of me at that point, and if you would have connected, you would have had basically my speed or better even. So that's all that it came down to was just we we both had taken so much risk there and got down to the point where if our cloud, even in an EB29, we got to the point where that would have been the difference for us. So that other guy, if you think about it, I mean, none of these ridges were that strong, and we got a little bit out of it, but not that much. And but I still would have thought with EB29s that climbing for 10 minutes or whatever he did would not
8 minutes, yeah.
would not have made up for it. But we both lost probably 3 or 4 minutes alone trying to find that climb there east of Mono Lake. You lost a lot more than that. You lost 15 more minutes. I lost time, and that guy was up there going red, probably pretty close to red line all the way to Boundary Fix. So, or the second turn point. So how do you? That's really something that you have to calculate. I've never gone through that exercise of a task where you have the opportunity to go up that high. How the hell did he get that high? I mean, the cloud base wasn't that high. He must have gotten into wave.
Yeah, he had to get in the wave. He had to be above the cloud deck. He found something to get him
Yeah.
above everything.
He must have climbed in a queue or climbed in a new queue and then connected with wave at that point. Because I found a couple little tidbits of wave, but I never saw anything. I mean, his average climb for the day was 5 to 6 knots. And for him to have 70% of his climbing in that one climb up to 18,000 feet, he had to have at least 5 knots plus
At least.
for that whole time. So, yeah, that's why he won right there. Because if he had a 5 meter or let's say a 3 meter climb rate up to that altitude, he got the benefit of true airspeed. And for that early part of the task for everybody, until we got to that little ridge just before Mount Patterson, everybody was low and slow and deviating around and probably only flying like 200 kilometers an hour. So I don't think that was a bad. Now that you think about it, it was a great tactic. But I didn't see the wave clouds that made me think that would be there.
I didn't either, but with that much wind, it's not a bad bet.
Would make sense.
It just didn't have the clouds to support it, to reveal it.
Yeah, so this
Probably by design.
Yeah, he went right off the middle, the high peak. He climbed right over the high peak on the Pine Nuts, and he was going up straight up like a rocket. And you
I gotta run.
Okay, yeah, okay, see ya.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Good fun.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you later.